morning, classmates. Professor Abedi. Our presentation is about Gabriela Mistral, Nobel Prize winner in literature. To quote Gabriela, she says, "We must give an expression to a soul and its intensity, and badly utter the message we spring from the heart before it ceases to beat." This presentation was made by Michael Alvarez, Manuel Mirabet, Andrea Silva, Ivan Peralta, and Rigel Tamargo. Introduction. Gabriela Mistral was a girl from the farming community who became an internationally recognized poet. She became a primary school teacher assistant in the village starting at age 15. Later, Mistral became a secondary school professor, inspector general, and ultimately a school director. At age 31, she served as an advisor to the Mexican Minister of Education, Jose Vasconcelos. Her background as educator and her values as a consultant led her ways to service the Chilean government. Gabriela Mistral's birth name was Lucia Godoy. She was born April 7, 1889, in Vicuña, Chile. Her parents' names were Jerónimo Godoy and Petronila Callaga. She attended the Pedagogical College in Santiago, Chile. Mistral won several awards. Some of them were World Florales Crown and the Gold Medal from the city of Santiago. In 1914, she won a Nobel Prize for Literature from the Swedish Academy. In 1945, the honorary degree from the University of Chile. Self-esteem. As studying a psychology class, a person with self-esteem issues feels it's not worth it for social interaction and is not good enough for the world. Based on what we have learned and using our critical thinking, we believe that Gabriela Mistral did not have any self-esteem issues. An individual with low self-esteem worth would not be able to handle so much success and attention, and nevertheless became a Nobel Prize winner. Paradigms. As stated in Abascal and O, paradigms are marked by expectation, belief, and preconceivation. Mistral experienced many difficult episodes in her life. One can notice this change throughout her poetry, which expresses her most sincere feelings. After going through abandonment as a child by her father, the suicide of her fiancé, and the death of her mother, she felt betrayed. Later, as she grew up, with despair, her writing became more positive and focused her life in different directions, such as passion for humanity. Leadership style. Her leadership style was democratic. She was an active and cultural committee of the League of Nations, and was a Chilean consul in Naples, Madrid, and Lisbon. Gabriela also played an important role in the education system of Mexico and Chile. As consul in Madrid, she had some professional interaction with another Chilean consul and Nobel Prize winner, Pablo Neruda. Gabriela Neruda became a supporter of the Popular Front in the election of her friend, the radical Pedro Aguirre, in 1938. She was a very active person who fought to improve the educational system in many countries, and was the face of her people several times in the United Nations. Teamwork demonstration. Surrounded by friends, Gabriela Mistral took a different view of things. Her life and writing has evolved as a rap and teamwork. One of the working conditions of psychological influence of the workers is the one that allows teamwork, so she was able to stimulate enthusiasm as a leader. She was a person that was adapted to major changes in cooperative spirit, a champion of values and moral choices. Communication skills. She was a very talented writer who used harsh, powerful, and colloquial language in her writing. She evoked a sense of mystery and isolation, centering on themes of love, death, childhood, maternity, and religion. She used diplomatic language and excellent vocabulary when expressing her idea. She also developed outstanding communication skills to communicate with culturally diverse societies. How this person met adversity. Gabriela Mistral had a personal life marked with tragedy. Her father left the house when she was 3 years old. By age of 16, she was supporting herself and her mother by working as a teaching aide. In 1906, she met Romeo Ureta, a railway worker who became the great love of her life. Unfortunately, he killed himself in 1909. This was a hard impact that affected deeply her life. After this, she wrote Sonesta de la Muerte to express her feelings. Even more tragically, Gabriela also later saw her nephew, who was like a son to her, commit suicide at age 17. However, Gabriela, with all these personal problems and tragedy, was able to keep going with a career in education. She became known as a writer in many countries. She had many works published, and most of them has been translated into other foreign languages, including English, French, Italian, German, and Swedish. Example of a challenge. Mistral was raised in the 20th century, where women were considered to be inferior. She knew how to demonstrate and express her ideas throughout her writings. With the unexpected suicide of her fiancé at her young age, she faced the challenge of fighting her own sentiments against the will of God, even though she was a religious woman. How this person changed challenge to opportunity. Gabriela Mistral encountered many challenges, Many of these events marked her life forever. Even though all of these tragedies she experienced, she managed to overcome these obstacles and convert them in opportunity by expressing all of her feelings in her books. Despite the fact that she never fulfilled the dream of becoming a mother, she wrote the most beautiful songs for children. Stress management. Gabriela Mistral was a distinguished woman of her times. She had a life marked with strategies that for always would define her life as a writer and as a person. The suicide in 1909 of her first love, and shortly afterward her second love married someone else, caused her to reflect in her personal anguish. Her first book, Son of Death, was inspired by unfortunate events. Despite these stresses that were happening in her life, she managed to control her stress by accepting death. Anger management. She dealt with her anger throughout writing books. She used her writing as an escape and therapy. She would alleviate the pain throughout her poetry and her complete faith in God. Gabriela Mistral was an ordinary woman that had to encounter many painful obstacles, but with her stress-hardening attitude and her self-awareness, she was able to subside and became one of the best writers of her time. Emotional intelligence. Gabriela has given an accurate example of the complexity of her feelings with her life and works. Readers find beauty in their words as emotional intelligence fills them with happiness and pride. With her outlook in life, she helps others to achieve the necessary connection to their hearts and teach them not to depend on others, creating positive habits and emotions and feelings. Gabriela Mistral maintained motivation and self-confidence to establish relationships with her peers. As such, she gave great examples of cooperation, dynamism, and readiness to help. The last period of her life describes an era in which she was known as a deeply concerned individual. She worried about the fate of the Hispanic Americans. Gabriela Mistral says, life is full of trial, sorrow, joys, and suffering, but it depends on how we face it that we will learn every day. Strength and accomplishment. Strength. Gabriela was an exceptional educator, a talented poet with diplomatic attitude and governmental skills. Accomplishment. She participated in the United Nations as ambassador for Chile, was invited to organize the educational system in Mexico, captured the attention of multicultural readers, and donate all her profit of the book Tenderness to an orphanage. She became the first Latin American female to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature. Conclusion. Gabriela Mistral was an exceptional and successful individual who, even though met adversity at an early stage in life, accomplished all her goals as a female icon in the 20th century and won a Nobel Prize in Literature.